Welcome to the class where tech takes the lead. Adam Todd here with just what you need. Teachers everywhere, let's elevate the game. With digital tools, we'll never be the same. In this podcast, we'll uncover the trends, from apps to gadgets on which we depend. Connect with your students in ways so fresh, innovative minds put to the test. In this podcast, we'll uncover the trends, from apps to gadgets on which we depend. Connect with your students in ways so fresh, innovative minds put to the test. Classroom dynamics where we all unite. Education future shining bright, with Adam Todd guiding us through. Teachers paradise coming true.
Classroom Dynamics is supported by Logitech. As education continues to evolve, so does Logitech Education, your partner in content creation for the classroom. With Logitech's cutting-edge technology, students not only learn but also become content creators. Whether it's in person or online, Logitech's tools are designed to inspire educators and learners alike. Capture every educational moment in stunning detail and edit, produce, and share your creative journey with ease. Logitech Education, inspiring the next generation of creators. For more, visit logitech.com/education, transforming classrooms one innovation at a time. Welcome to Classroom Dynamics, the podcast where we unlock the future of education. Hi everybody, I'm your host Adam Todd, and on the show today, we're serving up something inspiring because the world is your bowl of noodles. At just 15 years of age, Nigerian-American Jordan Ibekwe is proving that age is just a number when it comes to leadership and impact. Her podcast is all about youth empowerment, confidence, and staying true to who you are. With a mission to inspire younger listeners to reach for more noodles, Jordan is here to talk all about how she is using her voice, both as a speaker and a singer, to remind young people that they have the power to shape their world and lift others along the way. So if you're ready to lead, dream big, and be a bowl of change, this episode is for you. And it's all coming up next on Classroom Dynamics, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. AI can save teachers time, but what if it could do more? With Your Way, AI is built specifically for your school or district, aligning cutting-edge technology with your instructional goals, strategies, and vision. Empower teachers to personalize instruction, create engaging lessons, and implement innovative practices, all while saving time for what matters most. Why settle for one-size-fits-all AI? Customize and build your way safely and seamlessly. Discover AI that works your way at yourwaylearning.com. Every now and then we feature a youngster who is making a difference in the world, and today we're joined by an incredible young leader who's proving that age is no barrier when it comes to making a difference. At just 15 years of age, Nigerian-American Jordan Ibekwe is using her voice through podcasting and music to inspire youngsters ages 14 to 25 to embrace their identity, chase their dreams, and lead with confidence. Her show, The World is Your Bowl of Noodles, is all about empowerment, ambition, and being a bowl of change. Jordan, welcome to the show. So excited to have you here today.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for putting me on. I'm so excited.
Absolutely. So your podcast, The World is Your Bowl of Noodles, by the way, love that title. Great title. It's such a unique and powerful concept. Can you share just the meaning behind the name and what inspired you to start this journey at just 15 years of age?
So the name of the podcast is a funny story. I'll start with the name because I actually didn't know we wanted to create a podcast. I wanted to create a podcast with my friends. And we wanted to center it around just being a high schooler, what it's like being, in this certain period of our lives, like teenagers. And so The World is Your Bowl of Noodles kind of was a funny story because I was eating noodles one day and I thought what if the world was your bowl of noodles? And through text messages, we just said that would be such a cool name for the podcast. And so over time, because really what gave the podcast meaning was actually Slurp Noodles and Chat. I wouldn't say it gave the podcast full meaning, but we started with Slurp Noodles and Chat series, and we wanted to interview people all around the world, youth climate activists, nonprofit youth organizations all around the world. And so I thought to myself while I'm doing this series, why is the world your bowl of noodles? Why did I name it this? And so I realized that the meaning behind the name is owning your own destiny and being yourself. The real reason why, whenever I listen to people when I'm interviewing them, I listen to their story, I listen to why they're so passionate about what they do and what they did to make their dreams into reality. And a lot of these people, they had a vision, they had a dream, and they took action to it. And so my podcast, when I started interviewing more people, especially across the world, from India to Liberia, Kenya, Hawaii, United States, UK, I was like, I'm interviewing so many people who are so ambitious, who are so success driven. And I was like, this is what my podcast is. It's all about, going for what you want, making the world your own bowl of noodles, taking your dreams, being ambitious, going for what you desire and making a difference in the world. It's kind of like how you eat a bowl of noodles, you make the broth, you cook the noodles, you kind of make it your own personal bowl. It's really centered around that, about just going for your dreams and working hard for them. And why I'm so inspired to really continue this podcast, especially started, was because I wanted to create a community where the youth, especially the youth, can come. We can just talk, have conversations, listen to each other's dreams and ideas. And also, I wanted to break the stereotypical like rumors about Gen Z, because I feel like Generation Z has just been put down a lot. But listening to all these amazing people my age doing such great works, I kind of want to uplift the voices of the youth and tell people, like, hey, this is not who we are. We are success driven. We are ambitious. Success, just we're just hungry for change. We want progress. We want to make the world better, because one day we're going to take it for ourselves. And that's why I'm so inspired, because I want to make sure that everyone knows that this is who we are, and we are growing and we are making change all over the world.
Do you think that technology made it easy for you to start a podcast, being that you are a Gen Z kid, you're in high school? Do you think the technology was something? Because really, if you go back 5, 6, 7 years ago, it was hard to do something like this, to put on a podcast on a worldwide scale. So do you think the technology had anything to do with it?
Oh, of course. Like, I'm so happy for Spotify podcasts, because that's where we all started, or that's where we started. I feel like if I did not have the technological like resources that I had to start my podcast, it would have been so much harder, especially with just like editing, with just getting the right equipment. We had to do a lot of research on what we're going to be talking about. And that applies with like Google and stuff. And even with like AI, sometimes I need to like formulate good questions. So sometimes I would use AI to like build certain questions. So really with like internet, which I'm kind of glad I was born in just generation, because it made it easier to create my podcast and to like extend it out to certain like areas, especially Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and just YouTube itself and Instagram too. So it's really usable.
In your opinion, what is it about the content creation process that makes it so easy for kids to just really create something from nothing? Kind of like your show, you created something from nothing. You're creating it. It's content. It's
Yeah.
getting out there. What is it? What is it that makes it so easy?
What makes it easy is that you see a lot of people doing it, especially online. Because when you get on YouTube, I love watching podcasts on YouTube, on Instagram, just seeing them talk to each other. It gets you excited. Like, you have the ability to do this at a very young age. And like, I know there's a lot of people who've done it like later in their life, but like when you see people doing it online actually, and you like think to yourself, like, wow, this seems so cool. And I wouldn't say the process is easy, but the dream is easy to like think about, because like you're like, I have everything I need. I have an iPad. I have people who I can like, communicate. It's just easier because you have like communication, you have social media, especially social media, to really communicate and to get in contact with some people, and also figure out what you want to do with this podcast.
So, teachers who are listening, that's actually a great point that you just brought up. The fact that you love watching and listening to podcasts. Kids your age really take to that. Look, there's a lot of adults who love listening to a podcast while they're running on the treadmill at the gym, or, in the car on their way to work. But those are adults. So it's interesting to hear from a teenager who is like, hey, wait a second, I like that too. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So your message is all about youth empowerment and leadership. What advice would you give to young people, especially those in your age group and a little bit older? Because I know you kind of like try to aim for that little older mid-20s area. What would you say to them who may want to step into something, into that kind of leadership role, but they just don't know where to start? What would you say?
It took me a minute to like figure out how to be a leader because like at a very young age, I always wanted to be like the rest of my peers, be like the rest of the crowd. Not saying that it was anything bad, but like I didn't have any foundation of my own to like say, oh, this is who I am. So as I started getting older and started even doing this podcast, I learned that you just need two major concepts to become a leader. And that's one, learning who you are and sticking to that. I feel like a lot of the times, especially in this day and age that we live in, a lot of youth, especially at my age, we tend to lean on trying to be like everyone else, trying to be like the crowd. And especially on my latest episode that I talked with T, creative specialist, we analyzed how a lot of kids are like a lot of kids my age don't want to be weird. Like, yeah, sometimes being weird is like why do you want to be weird? But sometimes it's good to be weird because you figure out who you are. We are not supposed to be like, we're not supposed to be the same things. Like, we are all created differently for a reason. And if we're all trying to be the same, just cooped up, trying to look like everyone else, then where's that creativity? Where's the energy? Where's the mindset of ambition? Like, you don't have that once you try to limit yourself. And that also limits your potential because once you start acting like everyone else, then how can you be yourself? How can you dream big if you don't know who you even are? And then that's when you lead into, that's why start off first, figuring out who you are. I know who I am, of course. I'm from being a Nigerian American. I know my culture, my people, and I know where I'm from. So it's kind of easier for me to really lean onto that because I know where I'm from, especially by my parents. But once you know who you are, then start taking action in what you believe in. Because I feel like if you have a dream, it doesn't matter what age you are, you can be 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, go up, so on. Even younger than that, if you have a dream, go for it. Don't wait for anything. Time is ticking. We forget that we're living on the clock. And once you keep waiting and waiting, somebody could take that dream away from you. And you had that same dream, but what were you doing? Waiting for someone else to do it. So instead of trying to chill, just say, I'll just let someone do it for me. Stand up, be a leader, go for what you want, and don't wait for anyone to take that from you. Because you have the power, you have the authority, and you have the resources. And I'm saying not all people have the same resources as everyone else, but I know a lot of people who worked hard for what they want and are like at super high levels, but who came from low, issues. But that doesn't mean that stopped them because they knew who they were, but they know what they wanted, and they kept going. They didn't allow anyone to stop them. And that's another thing too about being a leader. You have to let those external comments wash away because in the end of the day, they're just talking. They're not doing anything just by saying words that don't mean anything. I feel like words are just words. They come and they go. And yeah, they might hurt, but that should make you want to keep going because that clearly that's a sign like, oh, they see you doing something different and they don't like that. So what I want to tell people is who don't know how to be a leader, but want to be a leader. First, figure out who you are, dream big, and take action in what you believe in. Don't let anyone stop you and don't let anyone criticize you for that because that's your own dream. And if you want to do it, do it. And I say that to all the people, no matter what age you are, go for it.
And everyone's perception of what they think is quote unquote weird, right? May not be weird to someone else. Someone might be looking at you might think you're weird, or you might think you're not in the place you're supposed to be, but others might look at you and say, wow, that's impressive.
Exactly. Like they might be amazed by how weird you are. Not saying, well, okay.
Weird in a good way.
Weird in a good way.
Weird in a good way.
Amazed, like, wow, she's doing something so cool. She's different and she's unique. Like that's the word, unique. We all should find that unique side of us and just be ourselves, like, go for what we want.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk more with Jordan and her podcast, The World is Your Bowl of Noodles. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right after this. Looking for the ultimate laptop protection? The Higher Ground Gear Shuttle 3.0 CS keeps your device safe, cool, and secure wherever you go. With its always-on design, your laptop stays protected at all times, while Clean Shell technology makes cleaning easy. The cooling deck prevents overheating, and the shock-absorbing corners, stiff EVA shell, and non-slip bottom ensure top-tier durability. Are you on the go a lot? Well, the carry handle and optional shoulder strap make it easy to grab and go. Plus, it's mil-spec certified, so you know it's built to last. Upgrade to the Higher Ground Gear Shuttle 3.0 CS today, because your tech deserves higher ground. Visit hggear.com to learn more. Teachers, podcasters, and classroom creators, take your content to the next level with Logitech Education. Whether you're recording a student-led podcast, creating engaging lesson videos, or producing professional quality classroom content, Logitech has the tools you need. With crystal clear cameras, studio quality microphones, perfect lighting solutions, and seamless editing gear, their full portfolio of content creation solutions empowers educators and inspires students. Bring professional-grade production into your classroom today. Visit logitech.com/education to learn more. As a Nigerian American, how has your cultural background influenced your perspective on confidence, identity, and staying true to yourself?
I take my culture very seriously. If you did not know, I was born in Nigeria. My mom and dad, we were all born in Nigeria, and I came here when I was 3, United States. And so being in a household where we value just family, tradition, and pride in our Nigerian roots, I learned to carry myself with confidence and respect, and valuing both my heritage and who I am as an individual. I've learned to even embrace my flaws to the point where I don't feel insecure of even showing them, because I know who I am. Coming from a Nigerian background, my culture is so deep, so rich, so historic, and so memorable. My people are so smart, so brilliant. I come from a background of doctors, lawyers, all these amazing people. I mean, a lot of amazing people, especially one of my favorite authors, Nigerian authors, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, and also Chinua Achebe, all these amazing people who come from Nigeria. That's such an amazing thing to look up to. I am from a country of inspiration, just beauty. And not only that, I feel like I've also learned to just keep my head up and stay true to who I am. And whenever I feel down, I know where I came from. I know who I am and where I stand in this world. I am representing a country of amazing people. And I hopefully one day, I hope I can influence and just, help more Nigerians like me who want to dream big but who don't know how. But just talking about my culture, I guess, it's taught me how to work hard and never forget my history and where I came from. But also finding balance between honoring my culture and adapting to different environments without losing the sight of what truly matters to me. And I feel like that's really what how my Nigerian culture has really shaped my identity and just who I am as an individual. And so it's really made me more confident in who I am. Because the more I know about my history, the more I know who I am.
So let me ask you this now, in terms of entertainment and podcasting, you're also a singer. So how does music play a role in your mission to inspire and then to also connect with your audience?
Music in general is important. I feel like with music, we connect a lot. We build relationships with our audience, especially with podcasting too. I feel like there's a connection between music and podcasting. But like I said, music plays a crucial role in my mission to inspire and connect with my audience, because I'm telling them a story by creating an emotional bridge that transcends words, literally. It enhances the message that I'm trying to say, setting the tone, creating a shared experience that can resonate on a deeper level. Through the right melodies and the rhythms, I spread emotion, I create creativity, and I foster a sense of unity, allowing listeners to feel seen, heard, and understood. And that's why I feel like connects with my podcast too, because I want people to feel seen, heard, and understood when they see people who are like in a situation like them or who have surpassed that situation but are on a higher level and who have endured what they've endured, but like, what they've gone through their journey. But like music serves as a universal language that like bridges people together, helping them feel connected and inspired even after the song ends. So music plays a crucial role in how I inspire people is because I'm building relationships with these people through my singing. I'm telling them who I am. I'm telling them my pain, my happiness, my joy, just how I feel when I sing. And I want to like destroy that third wall and come to my audience with, I guess, I don't know, full heart and say, hey, this is who I am and this is my story. And I hope you feel the same way that I'm feeling right now.
Do you ever sing on your podcast?
I don't sing on my podcast, but I do sing on my Instagram page, which has like my podcast. So go check it out if you haven't tried the World of Bowl Noodles Instagram and YouTube.
You might have to do some singing on your podcast one of these days. You could be your own guest in a way.
Could be.
Well, we're going to take another quick break and more with Jordan Ibukwe, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Teachers, are you looking for resources that spark creativity and inspire learning? Look no further than Highly Motivated on Teachers Pay Teachers. From comprehensive lesson plans and interactive lab books to engaging informational test prep passages, Highly Motivated has everything you need to keep your students motivated and excited to learn. Whether it's a quick activity or a full unit, these resources are designed to save you time and help students succeed. Highly Motivated, motivating teaching resources that engage and inspire. Search Highly Motivated on Teachers Pay Teachers today. So looking ahead, what impact do you hope to make with your podcast? We've touched upon a couple of things in terms of your vision, why you started it, what your goals are with it. But what's your ultimate vision for empowering that next generation of bowls of change?
So if we haven't touched on bowls of change, those are the change makers, the youth, the people who are creating a better world. That's why I like to call like people who come to my like podcast are bowls of change. They're the ones that are like creating a better world for everyone. But to answer your question, looking ahead, my ultimate vision for my podcast is to create a platform that is not only informs and entertains, but also empowers the next generation to take action and to drive change in their communities. I haven't said this yet, but I am starting through my nonprofit, Home Mini Library. I aim to inspire individuals, especially young people, to develop a love for reading and learning, offering them access to knowledge and resources they might not otherwise have. And I want to encourage a culture of giving back, whether it's by like donating books or like sharing knowledge or supporting local communities. And in addition to that, my passion for singing allows me to reach people on like another emotional level. Music has like the power to break barriers and spark creativity and bring people together. So by incorporating my singing into my podcast, I hope to like uplift and inspire more people and promote a message of like hope and just empowerment and resilience, like, ambition. And the combination of these two, literacy, home library, and my nonprofit and my music will kind of create like an approach to empowerment and like helping develop the next generation to realize that they have the tools within themselves to create a positive change throughout the whole world.
That is awesome. What an incredible conversation today. You're definitely proving that leadership and confidence and staying true to yourself can inspire an entire generation. So kudos to you and your podcast. It's an ongoing message reminding young people that they have the power to shape their own world and to make a huge difference in changing it for the better. And to all our listeners, remember, you are a bowl of change. So go out there, dream big, and make an impact, just like Jordan's doing. Jordan, thank you for sharing your story and passion with us. Before we go, tell everyone where they can go to find out more about your podcast.
So to find out more about my podcast, you can go on Instagram, The World is Your Bowl of Noodles, YouTube, The World is Your Bowl of Noodles, and also Spotify, The World is Your Bowl of Noodles. It's the same on all three platforms. And if you want to figure out more about me, my Instagram is JoJoNina07. I hope so, but you can type in Jordan Ibukwe and you'll see more of it. And it's also connected to my podcast link. So yeah, go check us out and go help support. And just thank you for having me on the show. It's an incredible experience.
Absolutely. I'm glad to have you. Well, for those of you who have been listening, thank you for tuning in today. And make sure that you share what you've learned or any takeaways or reflections that you've had, and tag us on X at Class Dynamics or Instagram at Classroom Dynamics Podcast. You can also find out all of our links, including information about our sponsors, on our link tree at Classroom Dynamics. We always look forward to hearing your thoughts on our episodes and sharing the different ways in which you're using what you've learned. You can also help to support Classroom Dynamics with as little as $3 a month at classroomdynamicspodcast.buzzsprout.com. Once again, I'd like to thank Jordan Ibekwe for joining us today on Classroom Dynamics. Best of luck with your podcast and your mission. It was a nice change to have you. No pun intended with your bowl, but nice change to have a youngster on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
And that brings us to the end of this episode of Classroom Dynamics, where knowledge and inspiration meets innovation. I hope you've enjoyed today's discussion and found it both insightful and uplifting. As always, my goal is to provide you with practical strategies, engaging stories, and powerful insights that can fuel your motivation as an educator. I believe when knowledge and inspiration do come together, incredible things can happen in your classroom. And for all of you who think it's too late to strengthen your craft, I challenge you to make it your mission to do so. You've worked hard to get to where you are today, and it's never too late to infuse new life into your work. So why not make today that day to do so? I'm Adam Todd, and you've been listening to Classroom Dynamics, a teacher podcast. You can follow Classroom Dynamics on X at Class Dynamics and on Instagram at Classroom Dynamics Podcast. If you haven't already, go to Apple Podcasts and subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. We'll be back soon with more captivating conversations, inspiring stories, and strategies that you can implement into your everyday routines. Until then, keep igniting that spark in your classroom and never stop believing in the incredible impact that you have as an educator. You're more powerful and inspirational than you think. If you liked today's episode, you'll love our episode, Preparing Educators for AI-Driven Classrooms. We sit down with Dr. Dwayne Wood to unpack how AI is reshaping education, from student engagement to ethical challenges. Don't miss this insightful conversation on balancing cutting-edge technology with the human touch in teaching.
In the service, we always were the idea of mission focused. What's the goal? And I'm putting all my effort to achieve that. To me, it's the same thing in education. I got a learning outcome. And that learning outcome has been vetted, right? It's an applicable skill or knowledge or attribute that's required for some form of task or something in the real world, either in the world of work or just in life. So I need to be able to adapt what I'm doing within the classroom to achieve that outcome.